Imagine walking through a forest. Suddenly, everything goes quiet. Birds disappear. The silence feels wrong. You look up and see a shadow. Too large to be a bird. Too slow to be an airplane. In the Cretaceous period, a shadow like this meant only one thing. You were already prey. Pterosaurs were not dinosaurs. They were a separate group of reptiles, the first vertebrates in Earth's history to achieve powered flight. Thin bodies, hollow, yet incredibly strong bones. Wings formed by a membrane stretched from an elongated finger to the body. Many of them were large, but one of them was on an entirely different level. Around 68 million years ago, near the end of the Cretaceous period, in what is now North America, something extraordinary appeared: Quetzalcoatlus. Its name came from Aztec mythology, the feathered serpent god of the sky. But this creature was no god. It was a predator, perfected by evolution. When Quetzalcoatlus stood on the ground, it reached a height of 5 to 6 meters. You wouldn't stand next to it. You would stand beneath it, like next to a giraffe. Its wingspan measured 10 to 11 meters. That's wider than many small aircraft. Its skull alone was nearly 2 meters long, not a head. A spear. Its body wasn't covered in scales like a lizard's. It was covered in pycnofibers, hair-like filaments similar to fur or down. Its eyes faced forward. Cold, calculating. It didn't look like an animal. It looked like something that shouldn't exist. The biggest mistake is thinking Quetzalcoatlus was only dangerous in the AI or it hunted on the ground. Often, moving on all fours, using its wings as limbs, it walked with its right arm and leg together, then the left. This strange gait allowed it to accelerate, quickly change direction, suddenly pursue prey for long distances. Its beak was not a mouth. It was a weapon. Long, rigid, razor-sharp point. One strike was enough to shatter bone. Its neck was reinforced with internal bone struts, allowing it to deliver devastating stabbing blows. This wasn't biting. It was impalement. For decades, scientists argued whether such a massive animal could even take off. Modern biomechanical models show that it could. Using a powerful four-limbed launch, it hurled itself into the AI or in flight. It could reach speeds of up to 130 kilometers per hour and maintain them for as long as 7 hours. Running was useless. Hiding was pointless. Quetzalcoatlus did not hunt giants like Tyrannosaurus rex. They were too heavy, too dangerous. Its preferred prey included small dinosaurs, medium-sized animals, anything weighing around 30 to 40 kilograms. A human weighing 60 to 80 kilograms would be ideal. Its remains have been found on open plains near ancient shorelines in regions that are deserts today. This tells us one thing: Quetzalcoatlus could hunt anywhere. There was no safe place. If a time machine ever throws you into the Cretaceous period and you see a massive shadow moving between the trees, don't think it's an airplane. Don't think it's a bird. That it's Quetzalcoatlus. And the only thing you can do is hope that it isn't hungry today. Pterodactyl. A creature from the Jurassic period that ruled the skies long before humans existed. It disappeared millions of years ago. But what if evolution had taken a different path? What if pterodactyls survived and lived to the present day? Today, we imagine a world where the sky no longer belongs only to birds and airplanes. To survive into modern times, the pterodactyl would have had to change. Smaller size, stronger wings, better flight control. Instead of giants with 10-meter wingspans, modern pterodactyls would be closer in size to a large human or an eagle. Their bones would become stronger, their muscles more efficient, allowing long flights and resistance to cold. Today, pterodactyls would not constantly fly over megacities. Their natural habitats would be hard-to-reach places: cliffs, mountain ranges, wild coastlines, uninhabited islands. But occasionally, they would appear near cities. Security cameras would capture shadows in the sky. Pilots would report unknown winged objects. Pterodactyls were not hunters of humans, but they were predators. Their main prey: fish, birds, small mammals. However, a starving or injured individual could attack, especially a lone human or a child. One strike of the beak, one grab with the claws, and survival chances would be minimal. Humanity would not stay passive. Pterodactyls would interfere with aviation, threaten fishing industries, damage infrastructure. They would be studied, tracked with GPS, and in some countries, exterminated. The pterodactyl would become not a legend, but a problem. Dragons, winged demons, punishments from the sky. Perhaps all these myths are echoes of rare encounters with pterodactyls in the past. Ancient people didn't understand what they were seeing so they turned fear into legends. Theoretically, yes, but only under strict control, reserves, protected zones, hunting bans. But history shows humans don't share the planet well with predators. If pterodactyls had survived to our time, the world would be different, the sky would be more dangerous, myths would become reality, and humans would no longer be at the top of the food chain. Perhaps it's good that some creatures stayed in the past, because not everything that is great should survive. Now we will look at the myths people believe about pterodactyls and find out where fiction ends and reality begins. Myth. A pterodactyl was a dinosaur, just a dinosaur with wings. Reality. A pterodactyl was not a dinosaur. It belonged to a separate group, pterosaurs. They were the first vertebrates to achieve powered flight. Myth. Pterodactyls constantly attacked humans. They were aggressive monsters. Reality. Humans didn't exist back then. Pterodactyls were not mindless killers. They avoided dangerous prey. Myth. Because of their size, pterodactyls were slow and clumsy. Reality. Their bones were lightweight. Their muscles were powerful. Their bodies were built for flight. Myth. Pterodactyls were cold, scale-covered flying lizards. Reality. Their bodies were covered in pycnofibers, hair-like filaments. This means they were warm-blooded. Myth. Creatures that large can take off on their own. Reality. Pterodactyls used a four-limbed launch. They pushed off with their entire body and lifted into the air instantly. The pterodactyl was never a myth. Our understanding of it was. And the truth is far more terrifying than fiction. And now, imagine traveling back 150 million years. Before you stands a pterodactyl, an ancient ruler of the skies, preparing for takeoff. But the real question is, what did a pterodactyl actually sound like? And now, you're about to hear it. These sounds may have been used to communicate, to warn rivals, and to dominate the prehistoric sky. And in the next moment, it disappears into the air. Today, we learned what pterosaurs truly were, why they were not dinosaurs, and how a creature like Quetzalcoatlus gold turned humans into prey. We looked into a past where the sky was not safe, and a shadow overhead could mean the end. If this fascinated you, this is only the beginning. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Here you'll find more stories about dinosaurs, prehistoric predators, and worlds that existed long before us. Because the past is far more terrifying than it seems.